Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Dear Future Pioneers podcast. My name is Carissa Munoz, and I'm going to be your host. Guys, can you believe it that today is the last episode that is going to be released for the Dear Future Pioneers podcast project? Because I am literally in awe that I've gotten this far. Like, it literally feels like yesterday I was walking into my senior project 1 class having absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. But I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I've been presented while being here, that I could create all of this and be able to publish it and have something that I'm proud of when I look back upon my time here at Sacred Heart and have like a little bit of a memory moment on different platforms. And, you know, I've really found a love for podcasting through this. So today's episode's going to be just me. It's going to be a little bit of one-on-one time with me and you. And for the whole episode, I kind of have it more geared towards like my involvement and what I've done at Sacred Heart. You've heard all of these different experiences through all of these seniors who I'm very grateful for their time and their energy coming on and sharing their moments and their memories with me. And I just have a couple of different things to go over as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and let's dive in. So today's episode is episode 13 total. I know it's going to say like closure or something along those lines, but we've had 11 informational episodes and we've had an introductory episode, and this is going to be kind of the bringing it back to center wraparound type of moment. So if anybody wanted to know what my process kind of looked like, so from beginning of January in 2023, I would come to this absolutely beautiful podcasting room in the 𝚘𝚒𝚗𝚘 building, and I would record episodes once a week. I would edit in the kind of editing rooms that we have downstairs using like Adobe, and I really learned a lot on how to fix audio, how to line up videos to make it look kind of cohesive, and I was able to create multiple platforms to show off my work. So I have my Weebly website. I learned how to upload my podcasts to Apple Music and Spotify and really just give it life and different ways for people to view it, because some people like to watch these videos. So hello, if you like to watch videos. If you like to listen, hello as well. I'm so glad that you're here still. And, you know, this podcasting room, I'm going to be honest, is very hard to figure out the first time. Full transparency, the first time I ever stepped foot into this podcasting room, I was here for maybe 3 hours trying to figure out how to work everything. But now we've gotten to the end of the line, and this podcasting room really has become my second home in the 𝚘𝚘𝚗𝚘 building and kind of on campus. And I'm really grateful for the ability to learn all the tech and be able to produce something fabulous that I can put out on the internet. And, you know, I'm really proud of myself for the way that I put this together. This is a solo project, and everybody in my class is doing their own projects, and I don't have like a TD that's helping me edit or anything. And there was a moment in my life where, you know, I could never really not be proud of myself, but I would always critique myself on something. And while there's always something to learn, I've learned something new every single time I've stepped into this room. I'm just really proud of, you know, my work ethic here and the ability to create content and be able to give it out on a regular basis. So that's kind of my project in a nutshell. And I've had so much fun. I'm so glad that I was able to do something creative for like a final grade. And, you know, I would be nothing. This podcast would be nothing without the people who have helped me with it, my guests, my friends. So I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank all of everybody that was on here and had some part in helping create Dear Future Pioneers and bring it to, you know, a platform where you can watch it. So I want to thank all of my guests one by one. I'm really hoping I get your names correctly. I think I got it. But I'd like to thank Samantha Bailey, Juliana Levin, Jackie Palumbo, 𝚂𝚗𝚒𝚘𝚎 Vargas, and Josh for the production on episode 2 with RSAs. He did an incredible job. Very thankful for him to be here. Connor Cunha, Gianna Canidi, Alejandro Ramos, Daisy Tuganagi, Anna Morel, Caitlin Broyles, Mia Sansanelli, Gianna Paseka, Abby Palmer, Ali Ferreira, Emma Felix, Maddie Miller, Ali Engineero, Sophia Costa, Kaylee Bowman, Ange White, and Grace Comboy. You guys are superstars, and I'm so thankful for you. You guys really brought this podcast to life, and I have enjoyed hearing about your experiences, and I'm so glad that other people get to hear them as well. I'd also like to thank my 2 senior project professors, Professor Andrew Miller and James Barnes. Your guidance and feedback for this project has really helped me create an even better project than I could have ever imagined, and I'm very thankful for being in your classes this year. I'd also like to thank Professor Keith Strivey, or Professor Z, as we like to call him, for all the tech help and podcasting advice, alongside Professor Greg Golda. You both have helped me in times of need and crisis when equipment does not like to work with me very well. So I am thankful for your presence here on campus. I'm sure everyone else can say the same, but all of these people really have influenced this podcast on such a large level. And I'd also like to take a little moment to thank my family and friends for their constant support outside of the studio and telling me that this is like a good idea and, giving me feedback. I really appreciate it. And I love you guys so much. So into, the meat of this project today for this podcast. To end things off, I really wanted to share my experiences with 𝚎 because you've heard everyone else's, and I've kind of tried to stay out of the things that I'm involved in so that I could have this episode for the end. And, when it comes to being at Sacred Heart, I like to think that I've worn a lot of hats. I've dipped my foot in the water in a lot of different areas, and, I'd really like to share something from each opportunity. So if you're watching the video component of this podcast episode, you might get a little bit more of like an idea of what I'm talking about. For my audio viewers, I'm going to do my best to describe what I'm doing. But do you hear that? If you're an audio person. So I have a nice little bag ASMR moment going on here, but to kind of help me showcase the things that I've done while I'm at Sacred Heart, I have brought in little trinkets to kind of describe the things that I'm involved in. So I'm going to be showing them and then talking about my experiences. So let's get started. Some nice little bag moments here. Okay. So the first experience that I'm going to be talking about today is my experience on the women's club soccer team here at Sacred Heart University. And the thing that I brought today is a picture of me and some of my fellow senior teammates that our team gave us for our senior game, which was played over 2 weeks ago when this will come out. And I just think it's really special. There's 5 of us in this photo. Actually, my teammate, 𝚂𝚊𝚌𝚛𝚎, who was on episode 6, is in this photo. And I just think it's really special. So I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to just briefly talk about my experience. So I really came to Sacred Heart mainly because of this club sports program. I probably touched upon it in episode 6 as well. I really wanted to play club soccer on a competitive level for longer than I did while I was in high school. It's been a part of my life for so long, and I wasn't ready to give it up just yet. So when we were looking for colleges, we were really looking for somewhere that had a very prominent, well-rounded, focused in on club sports program so that I didn't have to play at a D1 level for it still to be fun and competitive. And Sacred Heart really stood out to us when it comes to the club sports program. So that was really the main thing that I knew I was going to be doing when I was coming here. I knew I was going to be trying out for the team or showing up and seeing if I'll get some playing time or like what the vibes were of the team. And, that was, I think, the first thing that I really got involved in on campus. I, went to a practice as a freshman. There was like 60 of us that showed up. So I was a little nervous, but over time, we really became like a very close-knit team, and we had a lot of great experiences with our games. It felt really structured to me. Like it felt like home. Like it really felt like I was playing for my travel team back home. So that gave me a little bit of comfort while I was adjusting. Some of my best memories from like even my freshman year is walking back. Like our practices were usually like 10 p.m. to midnight, which for some people sounds crazy, but I found it so much fun. Me and the other freshmen would walk back from campus field back to our dorms, and everybody would just kind of get dropped off along the way, and we would say bye, and we would see each other in a few days. But it really just gave me something to look forward to. And, I met a lot of great people throughout this program. I actually my best friend, Maura, who is actually in this photo. She's in the middle. The other people in this photo are Kira and Carla. So these are some of my teammates, and we have a few seniors missing who were a part of our little freshman squad, Emmy and Olivia, who, they have really been a constant in my life throughout my time here at Sacred Heart, so I'm really grateful for them. And, I never really imagined a day where I would stop playing soccer. I think it hasn't really hit me yet that my last soccer game already existed and it's over, and I won't ever wear a jersey for one of my schools again. And I don't know, it's a very weird experience. I don't think I'll ever stop. Like I just said, I think I will continue to play at some sort of level. I do coach with my dad, so soccer is always going to be in my life, but I'm so grateful that I was able to continue to play here. Some great moments. Some of the girls are amazing. We went to regionals this year. It's just, I think it's a very positive experience that I'll look back on, and I'm very grateful for it. So shout out to my soccer team. Shout out to my coach. Shout out to my friends. You guys are incredible, and I'm so excited to see all the hard work that you will continue to do and the name you will continue to make for our school. So that's my first one. I have no idea if this is going to be in frame or not. So if it is just in frame, just ignore it as we continue. Moving on. The next thing that we're going to talk about today, sorry if I sound a little distant, I'm away from the camera or the microphone, is my sorority. And I'm sure you guys have noticed throughout the episodes that I have had a lot of my sisters on the podcasts, and they've, mentioned being in the organization and our connections and stuff. So I am a member of the Chi Omega fraternity, which is the Kappa Mu chapter here at Sacred Heart. And the things that I brought today is my name tag for recruitment that we all wear when we're meeting new PNMs and just really getting closer and bonding during recruitment time. And I also brought a journal from an experience that I got while being in this organization, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. So that's going to go here. So Chi Omega and Greek life, just in general. Growing up, we all have the stereotype about Greek life, and we've talked about this in episode 3, where it always just felt like there was a certain personality that was meant for Greek life. And I was very quiet, very socially awkward kid growing up. So I never really felt like Greek life was going to be in my cards. I didn't think it was going to be something I'd ever get involved in. And the closer that coming to school came along, I had gotten more and more curious about Greek life. And I remember going through, the Greek life page and learning all about the organizations and what they do and the philanthropies that they fund for and the organizations that they benefit. And I was really curious because both my mom and my aunt did Greek life growing up. And I remember having this conversation with my mom, and she's like, well, you don't have to do it right away, but if, you want to, it's always there. So one of the first, we have the Shoot It fair and the Grilling with the Greeks that are really targeted towards the freshmen. So I had, built up the courage to go to these events and kind of walk around and see what organizations were there. And it got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm really going to do this. And I didn't sign up right away. I remember opening up the page to sign up and then clicking out of it because I was like, no, what am I doing? I'm not meant for this. And I think it was a few days before registration closed that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. What's the worst thing that could happen? And I signed up and I went through the process, and everyone was so kind. It was a very stressful process. I won't lie about that. I know a lot of girls, maybe it doesn't go the way that you want it to go, and you're put in a direction that, we always go in with an open mind, but, sometimes maybe you connect with somewhere and that's not really where you end up, but it always ends out working out the best in the end, which is advice that I give all the PNMs that I speak to during recruitment, or that I spoke to, since I'm not doing recruitment anymore, which is so sad. But I during recruitment, just was trying to find my place. And throughout the entire recruitment process, Chi Omega was always an organization that stood out to me, and where I walked through those doors and I really felt like I connect with those girls. And, throughout the 3-day weekend, I was very anxious about where I was going to end up, because I wanted to end up somewhere. It didn't really matter to me where I ended up, but in the back of my mind, Chi Omega was always just there. Oh my gosh, how fun would it be if I was in Chi Omega? If I was sisters with these girls, or if I was really welcomed into this organization. And I was offered a bid, and I was absolutely over the moon. I was so excited. I was texting my friends from home, like so giddy and so like, oh my gosh, like I'm so excited. I have no idea what this opportunity is going to bring me, but like, oh my God, yay. And I like actually cannot even imagine what my life would be like if I did not do a Greek life organization during my time here at Sacred Heart. I have met some of my greatest friends throughout this like organization. I've gotten so many leadership opportunities. I was elected director of marketing my sophomore into junior year, where I got to really use my creative side, taking photos, running the Instagram, kind of showing our organization and like a light for like a national level. And then I got to be the director of programming on our e-board, which really helps kind of keep the programming and the opportunities that our organization makes for the girls. So like sisterhood events or helping plan our philanthropy event and doing like community service, like all of these things, and help creating a calendar. If you guys know me, I love my Google Calendar, and this position really allowed me to utilize those skills in like such a larger presence. And honestly, like having those opportunities really made me an overall better leader outside of this organization and gave me a lot of confidence that these girls felt that I would fit these roles and that I, would do them well. So I'm very grateful for that. And going back to this notebook, getting these leadership roles kind of, gave me a little bit more confidence. So back in the summer going into my senior year, there was an application that was sent out, or like a notice for 𝚑𝚒𝚌𝚛𝚎 National has a magazine called 𝚂𝚑𝚒𝚗𝚎, and it's, just kind of like a yearbook, I kind of picture it as, that's sent out twice a year or throughout like the seasons, just showing what 𝚑𝚑𝚌𝚛𝚎 National is doing. And they were looking for collegiate members to join their editorial board for the fall. And I just thought that was such an amazing experience, especially with my major being like strategic communication, journalism, marketing. And, I kind of toyed with the idea. I was like, are they really going to pick me? Like, there's so many people out there that are probably like, they have better like magazine or newspaper experience. Like, I don't know. But I just decided to apply anyways, because I was like, again, what's the worst thing that could happen? And I was so lucky enough to be elected one of two collegiate members. I'm like absolutely mind blown that I was, chosen. And it was such an amazing experience. I got to meet so many like sisters that were on a national platform and have been working for the organization, and really just feel their love for Chi Omega, while also utilizing some of my writing skills. So I'm really grateful for that. And outside of being in a Greek life organization here, being in a Greek life organization opened a door to enter honor societies such as the Order of Omega Honor Society, which I don't think we really talked about during episode 3, but it's a nationally recognized organization. We have a chapter here at Sacred Heart that looks for, I think, the top 3% of like students that apply. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but I applied my junior year. It's for juniors and seniors who are in good standing, have just hit the mic, good standing within, the organizations and meet the grade requirements, et cetera, et cetera. And I applied and I got into Order of Omega, which is very exciting, such a great honor. And I also was able to be the secretary of our e-board this year, which was another amazing leadership role that I got to acquire. So really being in Chi Omega has just opened so many doors, and it is a thing for life. I've got sisters for life. And I keep trying to remind myself that as I'm starting to graduate and we're doing all of these senior things. I just had a senior event this weekend for Chi Omega, and, it's my last chapter, and just trying to hold on to the pieces that are there forever. And realizing that even though you get 4 years as an active, you get a lifetime of being an alumni. And yeah, so there's that. So I love my sisters, loving Chi Omega. So we're going to move that over there, and we're going to move on to the next one. I swear I'm giving you all the ASMR moments today. Okay, so my third involvement is the Sweet Peer Educators Program, which is a peer mentorship program at the university. And SWEET stands for Student Wellness Education and Empowerment Team. And they're really like a big presence on campus when it comes to like mental health and physical well-being. And, we had a presentation during orientation where they were talking about what they do, and I really felt like I fit with their values a lot, and it was something that was like on my radar when I left orientation, but I kind of forgot about it until like the end of my freshman year. And the way that it works to join this organization is that it's more of like an application process. So it's not like our regular clubs and organizations where you can sign up to get information about the meetings and show up. Like it's more of a let's get to know you, we'll interview you, see if you're a good fit type of thing. So I applied my sophomore year and I was accepted to be a leader, which is awesome. And during this kind of opportunity, we do presentations for we have something called the bar exam, which talks about alcohol safety. And then we also have a Sweet Dreams program, which talks about healthy sleeping habits. So I was really able to take my public speaking to a higher level and be able to give presentations to freshmen and sophomores and just, give them some informational things. And we also do little therapy dog events. My mom likes to joke with me and she's like, you only joined that program for the dogs because I'm a big dog person, even though I don't have one. Mom and dad, that'd be really great if we got a dog. Slight little plug there. So I really got a lot of great opportunities here. I was also social media chair for Sweet this past year with my fellow e-board members. So it was another leadership opportunities that I got to be involved in. And it's just a really special involvement. It has such a great message attached to it. And I think that all schools should have something like that kind of lined up in their system. But, really grateful for it. We got to wear these shirts during all of our events. So this is definitely going to go in the t-shirt blankets that I'm making. Outside of actual clubs that I'm involved in, I didn't really do many clubs. There's so many to choose from. As we talked about, oh my gosh, just choked. Talked about in the episode 10 with Kaylee. But two kind of academic clubs that are more media clubs that I joined through doing classes was the Pulse, which is our TV news broadcasting club and class. And then I also did the Spectrum, which is a student-run newspaper. And I, learned a lot there. And it was just cool to be a part of something that really helps enhance my major and will teach me a lot of skills that'll be useful in the field. So quick little shout out to those as well. I think those were really awesome things that I both joined my senior year. So again, it's never too late to join things because I actually never imagined myself doing either of them. But I had added on a media arts concentration in journalism major at the end of my last year. And I got put into both of the classes that helped contribute content for both those clubs. So it really opened another door for me, which I'm very grateful for. So there's that. We're moving along. We're halfway through, maybe a little over halfway through. Okay. My next involvement is the orientation leader and FYE program. And the things that I have here today is my bow that I got to wear during orientation. And I also have my clipboard that I saved. I did orientation when I was a rising junior. So orientation was the summer before my junior year, and then FYE, which we talked about last episode in episode 11 with Ange and Grace. It's kind of another leadership opportunity that goes hand in hand with being an orientation leader. So I was really in that program for weeks, but I loved every second of it. So my orientation story is probably one of my favorites. And it all really has to do around this little bow. I actually just wrote, and you guys are getting a sneak peek of this if you're listening to this on May 2nd, because I don't think it comes out until May 3rd. So super fun. My involvement with OL really started with this bow. And, my orientation in June of 2019, which feels like actually a lifetime ago, I was so nervous to go to orientation. Again, only child, never really been away from home that much. Being in a new place, meeting new people, it's just very anxiety provoking. And, when I was there, the OLs were so nice and I just had the best experience. And something that really stuck out to me for such a weird reason was this red bow that the girls on the team got, and they would wear them in their hair, or maybe they'd wear them on their bag. And, I really just on the way home, my parents, when I was talking to them about it, I was like, guys, do you think I could pull off a red bow? And I was telling them all about this little bow that all of these orientation leaders were wearing. And my parents were like, Carissa, you've never worn a bow in your life. Where is this fascination coming from? I even texted my friends in my high school group chat, And I was like, guys, like, can I pull off a red bow? And they're like, Carissa, again, when have you ever worn a bow in your life? So even like outside of that, since I had such a great time at orientation, I knew it was something that I wanted to do. And ideally, I wanted to do it when I was a junior, because I just figured that I would have more life experiences regarding college going into my third year, like halfway through. So I didn't apply my sophomore year. It was a different, like weird format because of COVID. It, just happens. So when I applied my junior year, I was super nervous. I had to do a video, which was a lot of fun because, I'm a media major. So I really like doing videos. And, I had an in-person interview and I felt so confident coming out of that interview, and they did offer me a position. And I, spent 3 weeks. I actually spent time with Ange and Grace. They were on the team with me. And that's where I met them. So that was super special. I met so many amazing people that I still talk to and I'm very close with because of being on that orientation team. And being an orientation leader really like skyrocketed my confidence. Like it was something that people came up to me and told me, they're like, you know what, you seem like a lot more outgoing. You seem like a lot more comfortable talking in front of people. You're a bigger presence on campus, all because I decided to do the orientation leader program. I can't even imagine like what would have happened if I didn't do it. I got to meet like so many great faculty members by working with them. I met a lot of incoming freshmen. I was like, I could be a shoulder to lean on. Like, I don't know how many people really felt the need to lean on me, but it was just nice to know that I was there and like I could help. And that was really special to me because I was able to be the person that I needed when I was a freshman. And you know what? I did have a great support system as a freshman, which is an amazing thing that Sacred Heart really does provide for our incoming students. But it just felt so like heartwarming that I could be that for someone if they really needed it. So I'm so grateful for this program. Clearly this bow has meant so much to me because as soon as I was accepted, my mom was like, well, I guess you get a bow now. And I still display this bow like as my room decor. Like it really is like such a huge symbol for me. Like it kind of reminds me that like if I want something, like I should just go for it because who knows what's going to happen. Like if I had let my doubts get to me and say like there's so many applicants, like I think it was in a pool of like 100 applicants, amazing peers who would have done a fantastic job. But if I had let that fear kind of drive me away from being an orientation leader, I don't think I would have gotten the experiences that I have had today. So with that life lesson, do the things you're afraid of because who the heck knows where it's going to bring you. So there's that. Back to the pile she goes. Okay. One of my last involvements that I can talk about is this scarf. And you're probably wondering, what does that have to do with anything? So to me, this scarf represents being in the 2-week program in Dingle for the study abroad opportunities. And, we heard a lot about the semester opportunities when Sophia and Allie were on. But I did, so okay, backtrack a little bit. My college career had a very heavy presence of COVID on it. So traveling wasn't really in the cards until we were juniors going into our spring semester. So at that point, I'm living off campus. I didn't really think it would be kind of in my plans to go abroad for a semester. So I really wanted to do the 2-week, and I had applied the winter going into 2022 to do the 2-week program, but because of COVID, it got canceled. So I reapplied again for the summer the summer of 2022, and I got to go, and it was incredible. I've never left the country before besides that. And Dingle is just such an incredible, cute, quaint town. And something I love to talk about when it comes to study abroad is that, study abroad's offered everywhere. I feel like most colleges really enhance the opportunity to study abroad. But at Sacred Heart, Dingle in Ireland is our sister city. They have an actual sister city in the United States. But if you're talking about a community that really loves the students that are coming to study abroad there, that's Dingle. They are the sweetest people, and we have a college campus over there. And everybody knows Sacred Heart students. It just feels like you're so welcomed. Like, even though you've never been in this place before, never met these people before, it's just so special. So the story behind this scarf is when I went to study abroad, I was in the Sustainable Tourism and Marketing class with Professor McGovern. I love that professor. Shout out to you. And one of the things that we worked on was creating a kind of marketing team project regarding how these businesses can really enhance their presence on the in the area, and like how they can work on their marketing strategies. And one of the stores that we helped was a little shop with a bunch of different artisans. It's called 𝚂𝚒𝚌𝚛𝚎 𝚊𝚏𝚗, which is Gaelic, and I hope I didn't butcher that. So it's called the Small Gallery. So cute. And there was a lady in there who makes these hand woven blankets out of like sheep wool, and like, I don't even remember. It is so soft. It is so nice. And another thing about this is that the wool and like the product that was made to make this scarf is from the Great Blasket Island, which was a trip that we took while we were in Dingle. And it's like a boat ride that's like an hour off the coast of Dingle. It is so beautiful on that little island. And, you know, when I look at the scarf, I just think of all the amazing experiences that I had. And it's so warm. I might have already said that, but it's just so beautiful. And it's such like a unique and traditional kind of souvenir that I could have brought in home. I also got a little crochet penguin that, not a penguin. What are they called? Puffin, that somebody from that same shop made. And because puffins are so like in the Great Blasket Island, sometimes there's puffins there. So it's such like a big animal presence like within the town. So those are my two favorite little souvenirs. I would have brought the puffin, but the puffin is at my house, my actual house, not with me within Fairfield. So fortunately could not bring that. But I really encourage everybody to study abroad if you have the opportunity to, because I could not imagine how many like experiences I could have made in 2 weeks. But I got to try different foods. I got to go to an Irish pub. I got to see a sheepdog herd a thing of sheep, which was like the coolest experience I've ever seen. I got to go on a boat ride. I got to go on a hike. I got to see like so much greenery. Oh my God, they have so much green stuff there. It's actually incredible. And I got to just meet all these lovely people and really create a bond with some people that I've never met on campus. Like, there are so many amazing people that I went to Dingle with, and we had the best time. And if you have the opportunity to go, if you're not somebody who wants to go for a full semester, a 2-week program is actually perfect. I felt like it was the perfect amount of time for me because I only had to do one class. And I got a lot of time to like explore and really just like understand Dingle. So that's Dingle. I am obsessed with Dingle. So I really, really encourage you to go if you have the opportunity to. So there's that. And here is my last one, my last hat, which is my graduation cap. I, picked up my grad stuff last week, and I think it's just actually so surreal to see like my cap and gown. Like, you've seen cap and gowns, but when you know it's yours, it's just like even more like, oh my God. And, this is going to be the last hat that I don't know why I'm putting air quotes around it because it actually is a hat, but like figuratively, like this is my entire experience in one cap. Isn't that crazy? This is going to be the last thing that I wear as an undergrad and the first thing that I wear as an alumni because turning of the tassel. So I'm going to struggle to put this on with the little headset on. Who even knows if I'm going to get this on? Guys, this is so bad. For my audio friends, I'm really trying to fit this over my headphones. This probably looks so crazy, but it's okay. We'll act a little silly on our last time. So guys, this is where our journey ends. This is the end of my senior project. I don't even know. It's so crazy. But for everyone I've had on my podcast, I've always asked them to give advice at the end. So I kind of figured it was only fair if I did the same. So here's my little points of advice for anybody that's coming to Sacred Heart, or anybody honestly starting college or starting a new phase of your life. Here's Carissa's words of wisdom. It's okay to feel like you aren't on the same path as everyone else is, and it is okay to not have everything figured out on day one. I can assure you that nobody knows what they're doing, and if somebody does look like they know what they're doing, they're putting on a really good front. It's such an adjustment period for everyone, so don't feel like you're failing any sort of way, but also it's okay to fail, because it will happen and you're going to grow from it. So see failure kind of as a good thing. You can feel, this cap is not going to stay on my head. You can feel upset, obviously, about failure. I've failed so many times during my career here, but I can assure you that everything that has happened to me has brought me to a better ending. So just keep that in mind. College is 4 years, and you're going to hear that so many times. You're going to hear, how are you going to make the most of your 4 years? There's so many opportunities waiting here for you. I hope that you got that from this podcast, but it's so worth it to say yes to opportunities that are coming to you. If you have any sort of piqued interest on something, just try it, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen? It doesn't work for you. Oh, that's okay. There's going to be so many other opportunities that come your way that are meant for you that will, fit in place of the thing that wasn't meant for you. So just try everything and, say yes more than you say no. Enjoy it all. So not every day is going to be perfect. You're going to have a lot of rough patches, especially in the beginning, because we're all figuring it out. But just a reminder that you've survived every bad day that you've ever gone through. And there's so many good days ahead and so many great opportunities waiting for you on the other side of a bad day. So just keep that in mind. Change is scary. And believe me, I'm right there with you. After May 14th, which is my graduation date, I am going to no longer be a student, which has been my identity for so many years. I'm going to be put in front of a path that I don't really know where it leads. And while I can sit here and be afraid of it, which I am, let me tell you that, I'm also going to welcome it with open arms, because, there's just so much that could happen. And I'm really grateful for whatever happens. It's going to take me to where I'm supposed to be. What's meant for you will never pass you by. So guys, I'm just I could say it a million times. I'm so thankful for this opportunity and this platform that, I got to use. And if anybody benefits from any of these videos somewhere along the line, that'll make my heart so happy. But in the end, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing some of your time every week with me. And I hope that if you do come to Sacred Heart, you can see how special this place is firsthand and kind of understand why I'm so passionate about going here and how happy I'm going to be an alumni from here. So yeah, so for now, be well, and maybe I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for your time. Carissa Munoz, signing off.